Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dude with a Fork. My name is Ken. On today's episode of Ken Cook Stuff, we're making ham sandwiches, which seems like a pretty easy, straightforward thing to do. But if you remember, over on Patreon, I did a cookbook review of this ancient cookbook, an Epicurean list, and they made ham sandwiches that they wrap up in foil and put in the freezer and then heat up in the oven. This is from 1977. It was before air fryers. I thought, I have an air fryer, so I can make things, put them in the freezer, heat them up in the air fryer whenever I need something like a quick snack, or we have a toaster oven at work. I can also take these to work and heat them up in there. So it doesn't take a lot of ingredients, so let's get started. All right, well, I kind of forgot one ingredient, the most important one. Well, not the most important one, but an important one, and that's a stick of butter. Because what we're going to do is combine that with some of this Dijon mustard. And the original recipe used poppy seed, which sounds amazing, but I don't have poppy seed. And I love this salt-free seasoning blend that is the table blend. This is actually a knockoff Mrs. Dash version. This is the Aldi version. Table blend means it's ground up very small so that you can use it at the table like salt and pepper. It's salt-free because we're using ham, which is already salty, and we're adding mustard and cheese, which also have salt in them, so I don't want a ton of salt. So I'm not going to use anything like Montreal steak seasoning because it'll just taste too salty in the end. So this stuff is great. I often use this on sandwiches where I need a little bit more flavor. There's already salt there. I just need a bit more flavor. So we have an 8-pack of hamburger buns. We have actually a 9-ounce package of honey ham. This is the Land of Frost. It's not the best, most expensive, fanciest lunch meat out there. It's actually pressed and formed, so it's not a solid piece of meat. It's kind of little bits and pieces squeezed together, but it tastes good, and we'll take that. I have Dijon mustard. I think they just used regular mustard in the original mayonnaise, but Dijon is cool. And I wrote this, opened on July 23rd, so I always keep track of how long I've had something open. I have these Swiss cheese singles, which are like American cheese, but because you can see they're all wrapped up like this. They're processed, so they melt well. I need to use these up by the end of the month, so this is a good way to do that. And of course, I have my 8 ounces of unsalted butter. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I hope this doesn't get too messy, is I'm going to get my butter in this bowl, and I'm hoping I can do this here without making a mess. And I'm going to use my fork to kind of, come on. There we go. Not too much of a mess. I need to get rid of this. I also grabbed a bit of paper towel because probably wouldn't hurt to have that. I'm going to go with, I'm going to grab this first. This is just an ordinary spoon. I don't think you have to get too precise with measurements. I will give you a recipe with actual measurements, though. This stuff is delicious. But it does absorb moisture. This says expires July 12th, 2027. So I just opened this like earlier this year, but it absorbs moisture, so it gets a little clumpy sometimes. So there is 1 tablespoon. There is 1.5 tablespoons of mustard. We'll taste it, and if we need more, we'll add it in later. All right, so I'm just going to mix all of this together and hope that I do not make a mess. And you know, this could be interesting. This stick of butter was sitting out on the counter for about an hour, and it was still not super soft. So I just threw it in the microwave for about 8 seconds, and now look at it. So if you just want softened butter, it doesn't take more than 10 seconds usually. There we go. There we go. We're getting there. This is easy. I was afraid I would make a mess because I can make a mess. It smells great. The smell of that mustard is amazing. I love Dijon mustard. I love mustard in general. But sometimes I think I like things like pasta sauce or pasta salad and potato salad just as an excuse to have mustard. So, hey, this is coming together. It's forming a nice little ball for me. which is great because I need to get about 1/8 of this on each hamburger bun. So that is looking great. All right. Oh yeah. Now this is something I think your kids could do. And I think this is also great because you could have a bunch of these in the freezer. And it's something they could just come home from school and throw in the toaster oven. They have a nice hot meal. It's not, fast food. It's not, something out of the freezer section that's not great for them. So, okay, so I'm going to get a plate. And I did bring a napkin just in case I get butter on my fingers. So, that name Butterfingers started out with a reason. For a reason. Right, so I'm going to get 2. Now it said you need a whole stick of butter for 8 buns. We will see. I don't know if I'm going to need that much, but you put some on the top and the bottom. And I'm going to get some of this off the edge here. Oh, there we go. So, ooh. I did say I was going to taste that and check to see if I needed more mustard, didn't I? And then I forgot to do it. Yeah. Now the nice thing about this is, I don't think you need 8 tablespoons of butter for 8 buns. It seems like a lot of butter to me. But ham is very lean. Oops, made a hole in it. There we go. Ham is very lean. So I'm just going to try to spread this here. I was starting to say the neat thing about this is, and then I completely lost my train of thought. So some people have a train of thought. It goes in a straight direction. My brain has a Roomba of thought. It's thinking about something, and then it's like, oh, look, a chair leg. And then it goes off in a completely different direction. So, yeah, it's fun. I think that's more than enough. The thing of it is, though, if I have buns that I want to use up, or I end up with just a little bit of lunch meat that I want to use up, I can keep this kind of stuff in the freezer and just pull it out as necessary and put it on something and make this. So this is also 9 ounces, so theoretically I could eat 1 ounce and then put 1 ounce on each of these. And we're going to see what this looks like. I forget. It's pretty thin stuff. Looks like this. And you can see it's formed. It's not just a whole chunk of meat. But that's okay. It tastes great. In fact, how great does it taste? It's very thin too, which is nice. I like that. It is good. This is not very expensive ham, and this was on sale. This says about 4.5 servings per container. Serving size is 10 slices. So if I wanted 8 servings, I would use about 5 slices on each one. And I think I got 4 on that one. There we go. So there's 5. And I'll get 4 more. And it does the way they package it, though. Good luck on getting just 3 or 4 out. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, see, I need a napkin. I need a paper towel because I'm not getting butter all over my fingers. I'm getting ham all over my fingers. There we go. All right, get that out of the way. Now I'll get some of this cheese. This is Swiss cheese. I love Swiss cheese. This is processed Swiss cheese. So it tastes like Swiss cheese, but it melts like American. I have a video coming up. I'm going to show you how to make any kind of cheese into processed cheese. There we go. And a bun on top. And a bun on top. And then what we do, see, and then you got a little bit of cheese hanging out, and so you just have to eat that. It's required by law. The cheese police will come after you if you don't. Anyway, so then what we do is we take a piece of foil, and I hope these are big enough, because these are the pre-cut ones. And I'm just going to take this, and oh yeah, perfect. I'm going to wrap this one up. there we go. Now they heated these up in a 350-degree oven for I think 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes. And then they said 30 to 40 minutes if frozen. So I'm going to do this in a 350-degree air fryer. I guess for about 10 minutes. I will throw one of these in the freezer. And we'll come back for that one tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm going to go heat this one up, and then I'll clean up this plate a little bit, and we'll see what this looks like. So see ya in a bit. All right, so here we are. Let me zoom in a bit here. There we go. So I have a compact air fryer, and so I had this in there for 350 degrees for 8 minutes, and that seems to work pretty well. Look at all the cheese that's melted on the edges here. One thing you'll notice, the top bread did get a little dried out because the top does not seal. It's a little dry on the bottom too. It's crispy. I like it. And look at this. Look at this. Where is it? Oh yeah, see all that nice gooey cheese, and the butter is melted. And I do think though I would put these in upside down so that the foil wraps around the bottom. But it did get a little squished. I've kind of been manhandling a little bit though here, trying to get it open to show you. So anyway, we're just going to go in and get a bite. Wow. That butter mixture with the Dijon and the table blend is amazing. I mean, look at that. It's cheesy. It's ooey. It's gooey. You know, if you had any kind of roasted vegetables, some sauteed onions, some roasted red peppers, that would be great in there. Oh my gosh. Before I make the rest of them, I may saute up some onions and put in there. Or just thinly slice some onions, or just some green onion tops would be amazing. Oh. This is really good. I can see myself taking these to work and heating them up in our toaster oven there on the days I have to work in the lab. So, oh, perfect. I'm making a mess because the bread did get crispy. It's not dried out. You have to be careful with an air fryer. Air fryers can quickly turn bread into fossils. And of course, this is getting compact just from the melted butter and the heat, but it's still delicious. Oh yeah. Oh my. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to rewrap this guy that was in the freezer. I'm going to put him in upside down and make sure that that bottom is well sealed. There we go. And I'm going to put him in the freezer for about an hour, make sure he's frozen solid, and then we'll see how long it takes him to heat up in the air fryer. So back in about an hour and 20 minutes. And here we go. These were frozen, 2 of them. I put them in the air fryer at 350 degrees for 15 minutes. I took a peek at this one. Looks to be melted. It's a little crispy. Oh, yeah. Let's get these guys out of here. I think I would put a little bit of butter on the outside of these buns. Oh, look. See? Look. Got a little bit of browning on the ham there. So you have to figure this out because it's guesswork with an air fryer. What works in mine is not going to work in yours. Different air fryers are different. They have different fan speeds and different heater elements, and it depends on how much food you put in there and how big they are. But oh yeah, look at that. I could have left that in there a little bit longer. But yeah, oh my gosh, this is breakfast today, so I'm just gonna tuck in. That butter in there is amazing. Oh, a little bit of horseradish would be really good in there. So, they do not get super melty on the inside. They're warm all the way through, though. But I would be tempted to just take these out and leave them in the fridge overnight if you're going to have them for breakfast, or take them out in the morning and then leave them in the fridge if you're going to have them after school or after work. But these taste great. These taste as great as they did the first day. So definitely a trick to keep in your back pocket when you have extra hamburger buns to use up, and you don't have enough to make hamburgers or sloppy joes or something like that, make some freezer ham sandwiches, and then you've got them for snacks. All right, and just for comparison, I also thawed a couple of these out overnight in the fridge, and then heated them up in my toaster oven for about 12 minutes, I think. I forgot to set a timer exactly. About 10-12 minutes on 350. The buns do not get nearly as hard or crispy, depending on your point of view, as they did in the air fryer, because there's just not that much air moving around. But you can see everything still got deliciously melted. You can see that line of butter in there. That's with the mustard and the seasoning. That's absolutely amazing. And yeah, they're really good this way too. I think I actually prefer them a little bit better this way. They don't take as long if you thaw them out ahead of time. So if you're doing this for your kids and you know, oh, they're going to come home from school, they're hungry, you just remind them, hey, take some of these out of the freezer, put them in the refrigerator before you leave for school, and then they can just toss these in the toaster oven when they get home, and they'll have a nice hot snack that is not a hot pocket and probably a little bit healthier for them. So, and it's something you made yourself, or you could have taught them how to make. So anyway, there you go.
And that's it, folks. As always, thank you so much for watching. Links to free printable copies of any recipes here are down below in the show notes. Please like, comment, or if you'd like to see more of this kind of material, subscribe. As always, please stay safe, eat great food, and power to the proletariat. We'll see you next time.